The 10 wealthiest people of all time. 1. Mansa Musa. Mansa Musa lived between 1280 to 1337 AD and is often referred to as the wealthiest person in history. He was the 10th emperor of the Mali Empire, and his West African kingdom was most likely the largest producer of gold in the world, at a time when gold was especially precious and high in demand. If tales are to be believed, Musa made such lavish spends during his pilgrimage to Mecca that it caused a currency crisis in Egypt. Musa's wealth was so enormous that it can hardly be comprehended by researchers today. By modern standards, his peak net worth would be around $400 to $418 billion. 2. Emperor Shenzong. Emperor Shenzong of China's Song dynasty lived between 1048 and 1085. According to economic historians, he ruled during the peaceful prosperity and primary abundance eras, when his empire controlled around 30% of the global GDP during its peak. The empire's wealth came from its technological innovations and extreme skills of tax collection, which is believed to be way ahead of its time. His peak net worth would be more than $30 trillion, as per some experts. Again, all these are rumors and some experts suggest this number. 3. Augustus Caesar. Augustus Caesar was the first Roman emperor who ruled the kingdom from 27 BC until 14 AD. At one point, Caesar's wealth and personal fortune were equivalent to about 1/5 of his empire's economy. According to Stanford professor Ian Morris, Augustus personally owned all of Egypt at one point. By modern standards, his net worth would be an unimaginable amount of $4.6 trillion. 4. Genghis Khan. Genghis Khan was one of the most successful military leaders of all time. As a leader of the Mongol Empire, he conquered around 12 million square miles of land between the years 1206 and 1227. He never hoarded his spoils but distributed them among his soldiers and subjects. So, his personal wealth may not have been much. However, the unbelievable amount of land that he held would be worth more than hundreds of trillions of dollars. 5. Emperor Akbar. Akbar is thought to be the most prosperous emperor in India's Mughal dynasty. From 1556 until 1605, he ruled over most of the Indian subcontinent and controlled around 25% of the world's GDP. He is renowned for his lavish and extravagant lifestyle and patronage of the arts. His wealth would translate to a staggering $21 trillion today. 6. Andrew Carnegie. Andrew Carnegie was a Scottish-American industrialist and philanthropist, who led the massive expansion of the U.S. steel industry in the late 19th century. He sold his company in 1901 to J.P. Morgan for $480 million. That sum equates to about slightly over 2.1% of U.S. GDP at the time, giving him economic power of more than $300 billion by today's standards. Carnegie gave away 90% of his fortune to various charities, libraries, and educational establishments during his final years. 7. John D. Rockefeller. Rockefeller is widely regarded as the richest American who ever lived. He founded the Standard Oil Company in 1870 and ended up controlling about 90% of the U.S. oil business. Just like Carnegie, Rockefeller was a philanthropist and founded the University of Chicago and hundreds of libraries across the U.S. By today's standards, his net worth would be around $340 to $370 billion. 8. Henry Ford. Henry Ford was an American industrialist and business magnate, who founded the famous Ford Motor Company in 1903. He revolutionized vehicle manufacturing and brought the car to the mass market, selling over 1 million vehicles in 1920. He astonished the world in 1914 when he offered $5 per day wage, which would be equivalent to $130 today, and more than double the wages of his workers. By current standards, his net worth would be around $200 billion. 9. Alan Rufus. Alan Rufus was the nephew of William the Conqueror and had joined him in the Norman Conquest. He inherited all the wealth of his uncle, which is estimated to be around 7% of England's GDP at the time. By 1086, he became one of the richest and most powerful men of England. By present standards, his net worth would be around $180 to $195 billion. 10. Jeff Bezos. Jeff Bezos is the founder of Amazon and currently the richest person in the world. In 2017, his wealth surpassed $100 billion for the first time. In August 2020, Bezos crossed another milestone when he became the world's first ever person to amass a $200 billion fortune on Forbes. It is estimated that he earns about $321 million a day, $13.4 million an hour, and about $3,715 every second. Now those are some